who's next on stage?
We'll just have to practice.
Hi, Viji. Thank you so much for joining. It's been so many years since I saw you last.
True say. I would say almost 15 or 12. Because
Almost,
I think we
I
met
think 12.
12. Yeah. I think it was the third year of you teaching in Pittsburgh. And
Yes.
that's when we met. And I remember the number 3 then,
Yeah.
because you had said, this is my third year. And, we were talking about all those beautiful journey that you've had in Pittsburgh with all these students of yours. And, it has been a crazy journey. But you know what? Every single thing has been so memorable. Can't thank you enough.
No, it was such a pleasure when you came to Pittsburgh and when I was at least, there when you were able to dance. And it was a really lovely time. And I can't believe it's been so long. And you've been part of the journey as well. So it's really been interesting. And I'm so glad you were able to join today. This means a lot.
It's my honor and pleasure because, we met for a couple of hours during the show and had a couple of interactions. And that's all I remember. And then the moment that we spent that day just before the show and then all the craziness related to show, because
Exactly.
little did we know what we signed up for. There we come and it's a temple auditorium. And then I say, how about a small set of yarn that we can hang something? Then you take us running. Let's go into the temple. Let's find something there. And we just go, okay, let's go find something. But, the nicest thing about you was as a cultural organizer there, you just did not hesitate to commit yourself for anything and everything. And that was so uplifting.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely uplifting. For a young, organizer to have a dance experience and to say, yes, let's look for something. You want this? Let's find this. The smallest small thing like yarn that we were looking for to hang one of the props. And you were like, let's go look for it, And I know you remember our, peacock feathers, which were a big part of our performance. And the fun behind it.
Oh, absolutely. And that's part of the dance, right? I mean, I'm sure you have such multiple memories like these, many of crazy things, funny things, really weird things. And that's exactly what I wanted to sort of reminisce about. And I'm sure you will have multiple of them that you can share with us now.
Yeah. I still remember, I don't know how much you remember, we just get off and then we are looking for an organizer. So we are looking for an organizer who's like somebody elderly who's going to come, and you just come running saying, I'm Mridula here. And I just go, wait, we're looking for organizer here. And you just come running like a firecracker there. And then we're like, okay, we just thought there would be an organizer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You just welcome us and, we go straight to have a cup of tea. I don't know, you remember the chai that you guys
Yes.
make at Pittsburgh is, awesome one. And then you say, okay, then what's next? And I'm like, we want to do the stage rehearsal. Then you're like, come on, let's go there. We were like, okay, it was so cool to see an organizer who was so down to earth, so giving. And, most of all, coming from a dance background, you had that, so much passion to support another artist, which is rarely seen, And I was so amazed at how much giving and how much caring you were about small elements that we were focusing on. You could have just said, forget it. This is not my business because I'm just an organizer. But, you were all about providing every single thing that we wanted. You were all about giving in as much. You made calls to provide us. I don't know if you remember, we asked for saying, what, these particular musicians needed this particular carpet. And you were like, carpet, okay, let's make few calls, I still remember because we had a combo show in which we had the
Yes,
musicians followed by us performing, so it was a double bill. And then they wanted a certain amount of stage seating, and you had this little dais that you usually use for arrangetums and
correct,
stuff.
correct.
And then they were like, this is too small, because there was one musician who was playing 4 different instruments, and he needed a space of his own, pretty much the whole stage. And you were like, okay, let's go get the carpets, let's go get, you did not hesitate one bit about what we needed, and that was so amazing.
No, thank you.
And
I mean, that's very kind. I remember that, yes, the one thing though that stays in my mind is, of course, a peacock stuff, which is really funny. And these things always happen, right? It's you can never, ever have everything perfect the way you want it. Although you plan, dancers usually are very good planners, and because, there's just so many moving parts, but it's still something that goes out, right? And I'm sure you've had that in other performances as well. It's things missing or
that was another thing. We were in a flight to Texas just after your show, and then we left the whole of that peacock feather again
oh my
in the
God.
flight in the Southwest Airlines, and next thing we know is, okay, we had given invitation to the air hostess or a couple of people because they were staying back that day in Texas. So they all came with the peacock feather again to
Oh
the
my
auditorium.
God.
That was just bad situation.
But that is so adorable. But I think you're jinxed with peacock feathers. That's all I can tell you, Viji. What do you do with those peacock feathers? It never goes with you. There's no travel with you to the venues.
It always feels like it needs to come later than us. I don't know why.
Exactly. It's some VIP treatment that, it comes just at the point of dance. But it's so sweet that they brought it. That's
Oh
amazing.
yeah. They said, oh, because we had to get ready in the flight, and they
Oh,
made an announcement because the minute we landed, we had 45 minutes for the deck and then the performance.
that's crazy.
So that was something we were not used to. So we literally left from Pittsburgh, we drove all the way to DC, took the flight, and then went to Texas. So it was just too much. And nicest thing was, we were like, okay, we don't have the peacock feather. Let's go to Michael's, get a couple of them and just hold it at least, I was like, this is second one in a row, second day. What are we doing?
And did you actually put the makeup on the flight? I mean, during
We
the...
got ready completely. Each one of us went into the restroom, wore our costumes, came, did our makeup, did our hair, because it was a 3-hour flight. So
That's
everybody
crazy.
took
That's
turns.
great. That has to be a first. I've never heard of that one before.
We've done that a couple of times so far.
My God.
It's just been the they give you such small window, and then we are not so close by, then we are forced to just take whatever flight is available and still make it to the show.
That's true. And all the costing and all the other stuff that goes into it. I mean, those are things that we need to be careful about as well.
Yeah. It is just like, you being the organizer when you were in the cultural committee at Pittsburgh, you knew the logistics, you knew how things would work. And I'm sure that gave you more heads up in terms of, how to do this, made you so, organized and so, intact. And that's the personality that we see. Yeah. That's what it's amazing.
That's very
The composure that you have about, so calm, I did not see you get stressed about one thing. You're like, it's only peacock feather, we can get it sorted. You were so calm, and we were like, okay, but that's a big part of our show.
Which never travels with you.
I know it just refuses to travel with us. I don't know what the deal is.
So forget about props. Have there been any times when dancers or musicians haven't turned up, or some of the crazy stuff like that, or just absolute malfunctions, right? Your wardrobe malfunctions or anything else? Because I've had instances where the pajamas have sort of loosened, or the jewelry has fallen off. Things rip on stage because, when you're dancing, you're in a different zone. So how do you deal with those though?
See, I've had, emergencies with the artists who are supposed to have been here, and it's a major show that's supposed to happen with them, and we have done without them. And it's not been the best show because we're so stressed out because the main person who's leading the whole thing is missing. But somehow the show's moved on.
Oh yeah.
You know, the show must go on, as they say. We've managed to move it in. And things like how you said, props not working the way the prop should work, and then jewelry's falling, which we try so hard,
Oh
especially
yeah.
with the earrings. There are two stoppers at the back, but it still says, I'm going to fall off. That's it. Do whatever you want. And there are times when which it's come and poked our legs, the usual scenario that
Yeah.
happens, because whenever the stuff falls off, it always is upside down, not down and
Yes.
up. So
I don't know what that
you're
is. It's I'm sure there is a law of physics that will explain that. But the thing is, it always has to poke you, or you have to do that wiggle where you pick it up on stage and decently throw it on the side, which invariably doesn't happen all the time, right? You need to
yeah.
really have that space to pick that up, throw it on the side. I mean, my belts have come off all the time. I don't know what it is with my belts, but
Belt scenarios, not many, but I know there are times when which I have really dropped my earring, necklace. So far, so good. Touch wood. Yeah, but then the rakudi starts wiggling or it's off. I don't know. You tighten it so many times and make sure it's all nice and tight, and you just wiggle everything even before going, on the stage.
true.
Next thing you know is it starts wiggling over there. Just don't know what the deal is.
And you've traveled, I know, to India as well. So that would have been an international challenge, not just a domestic one anymore.
We have been a travel company for some time. It's just to challenge my dancers more than anything. It's an experience, and you being here from here and then move to India, it's more for the passion than for any monetary or any
Oh, yeah.
appreciation. It's just for you're passionate, you just want to share it. Whether people are going to say positive or negative, we're always open minded, and we just want to see where our travel journey goes as artists. That's about it. And it's been a lot of different challenges, coming from US. Number one, they're not going to take you as seriously as they have to, especially if you're an artist going to India, because they have certain expectation. And all our kids look very American, they talk American. To get that straight on respect has been not possible. It's not been possible. It always is after you perform is when they
Right.
have shown us some kind of appreciation, or even just acknowledgement, just to say that, oh, not bad, you guys work. It's not like you just come from America. So it's not been an easy journey, especially to India. And per se, even here locally, when you're an American artist taking American kids to their venue, it's always been a struggle. You have to prove that you're good enough,
Mm.
because they're so used to artists coming from India, and they have certain expectation out of artists from India. So it's always been a struggle. It's never been easy.
It's never been easy. And it never will be. I think any artist journey has always been such a challenge. I don't think that's going away anytime soon. So that's always one of the crazy stuff. But I'm sure you also, when you're traveling in India, because of the extensive travels, just the transportation, getting from one place to the other, I'm sure it was chaotic enough without others pitching in to create more chaos. Because you're traveling within cities, or, catching one place to the other, finding places, of course, the traffic, things like that.
We have always been, I tell the students who come from here, saying that, what, it's a different experience. Open up your minds. Nothing is going to be as you want. Just go with the flow, because sometimes trains, they stop. They don't move at all for hours, because that's how the train system is. And sometimes, they say it'll start at so and so time, but it just never started. So, we have given ourselves umpty amount of time to reach, umpty amount of time to get prepared. But, it's always been cusp. We always tell the organizers saying, listen, our train back is at 9:45. Don't put us at 9 o'clock. So we just literally have to drag our bags, run to the train and just hop into the train. But it was always been the same,
Right.
because they start with their own timings and they have their own reasons for delays and stuff. By the time it's our turn, it's already our train time. So we're literally getting worried about, okay, we're going to miss this train, but if we miss this train, we can't make it to the next show because we've come in such a short window.
Exactly.
In 10 days we want to do 6 or 5 or 7 shows. You only have the travel time, get on stage, do a tech, and then go to the performance. So so far we've been good. We've all been in cusp, in a 5-minute, 10-minute window. We've still made it. But, it's always been nerve-wracking. It's always been a tension that you're always worried. What's next? What's next has always been on the card.
Have you ever created, another record by dressing up on the train? Some of us have, especially for when we go for Natyanjali and stuff. We actually just jump into the train right from a performance. So you've done it on flights. So I won't be surprised if there is a train story to it as well.
We just recently in 2018 we were there in India, and then we were performing in Tirupati, and it so happened that we decided to take a train from Bangalore to go to Tirupati, and little did we know that we wouldn't make it on time because the train kind of stopped for almost 6 hours, and we were like, okay, what do we do? And it was 2:30 and our show was starting at 6 o'clock, and they still had 3 hours of train. That means we were only landing there at literally like 30 minutes to the show. So we started getting ready, started rehearsing, just asked people to move out. We said we might not get a stage run. We didn't get a stage run, but we still made it because the organizer was already ready to swap us. And we kept on calling him saying, no, we're coming. We're ready. We're coming. Yeah.
Hold on. We'll be there,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just been that. And then how about you? Have you had an experience in which you had to just go out and say, listen, take me seriously, I'm a Bharatanatyam dancer? Was there anything of that kind at all?
Oh, multiple. I think I still do it though. It never ends. Sometimes it's, so even as recently as a couple of years ago, so we were given a prime slot in a particular venue, and the audience was great. We always liked that venue, and we had prepared this 1-hour program with a lot of new choreographies, and it was a group with a few of my students, and then there were a few solos by me. And what happened was the program after us was also by a slightly senior dancer from a different style. And when we were starting, the organizer tells us that, oh, you know what, she's quite senior. Why don't you allow her to come earlier? And I said, but that doesn't work that way in the sense of the time slots are different, A. And, we've been ready. We were told that this was the slot. Of course, we are to adjust, right? That's not that big a deal. But if you informed us earlier, we would have just taken our own time with this, not got ready and be sitting in the green room for an hour waiting for it to start. And then what happened was this dancer started off, and I said, that's fine. I mean, it's not that big a deal. We are comfortable with our choreographies. But then she overshot. So what happens is they have a very set time to shut down. So they had to ask us to cut some of our pieces, which meant that the pieces that were newly choreographed and practiced by these kids as in I teach a lot of older working women as well. So it's the first time, right? And it's very exciting. And we had to cut short a few of those. And I said, this is very unfortunate. Of course, we'll do it because what is the point in, when the entire venue is shutting down, you can't keep dancing alone. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense. But we had to do it. But after that, I've been quite firm. I always say that if you give us a timing, you stick to the timing. You give us this number of minutes, we stay with those minutes. Because then I won't choreograph. They don't need to practice, waste time. So that was a particular incident. But, unfortunately, what happens is some organizers don't understand that it's not just the name of a dancer. It's also the effort other dancers are putting in. So it's very important to respect that, you know, perhaps they just have two, three pieces. But their point is, oh, it's just like a piece or two, right? It's not just a piece or two. It's a lot of thought that goes into the choreography. It's a lot of effort for the dancers to go. And every choreography, you're sort of attached to it, right? In the sense of, I would like to see it performed. So that was a big learning. But you know, that's exactly my point. In this journey of so many years, for every dancer, not just mine, we have so many challenges and so much of you know, there's this pressure to not only perform well but also from people's expectations. So that's the one thing I said, art is not just all the pain points, we have enough number of them. uh, and I wanted to sort of bring out really the happy stuff, the crazy stuff that always keeps us going, right? I mean, right now, we're sitting, thinking about it, laughing. You get a chance to, oh my God, really that happened? I can't believe it. I just forgot about it. But that's the only thing that keeps us going. And I think that makes us feel very happy. So I want that to be like, you know, sort of that keeps me going. So I assume that that also is important for other dancers. So that
Yes, important, so important, because um, those small things that make us, go back to those days. That means there was some strength to that act. There was some strength to me catching up with you for a couple of moments, and then you made us feel so homely, and you did not make us feel like you're another dancer that I had to. You're such a senior dancer. You always could have just said, "Come, just dance and go," but your motto and your intention was to just make that dancer feel at home, make that dancer feel that they're welcomed. And even your intro to our show, or just after the show was over, we were all taken to the temple hall for the Mahamangalarati. That was such a special moment, and you took time to introduce each one of our artists, and then the priest took time to just do this little puja in name of each one of our gotrams and everything. That was such a great thing. And then I still remember we all sitting for hours, sitting and laughing about things, and then joking about things during dinner. We literally had you till almost early morning, 11:55. That's when you said, "I need to go now." And we're like, "Oh, okay." Every
no,
single thing.
absolutely. I mean, you're being very kind, Viji, but it was a pleasure, literally a pleasure. And that makes so much of a difference when you have this connection with an artist and you just let go, right? You're just yourself and you deal with all the crazy stuff together. But it's been very sweet of you to even remember all those things. And, yes, a part of it is what I did. I'm sure there were so many other people who helped you as well. So,
No, no, no. The thing that I really want to share it with people today is, we as artists have so much of things going on, okay, and not necessarily artistry or not necessarily personality. It's very easy to show that personality of yours as whoever you are, and to be humble and to be giving and to just be loving about the art is what made us come so close and stay close. And that's what I relish. Even a small email from you, I just make it a point to open to see what's going on, because it matters to me. It matters, though it was a small interaction that we had, and the amount of love and care that you gave it to the art is what I look for in your emails as to what is Mridula doing next? What is this new thing that she's up to? Because it matters. The little things that you have given us is in our hearts, and it's going to stay for a long, long time. And we know
oh,
that. We
thank
know
you.
that. We know that. And I sincerely want all of your students. I know it's been 15 years. We have all kinds of students because you have been teaching in Pittsburgh and different cities, even within India. But I want to tell those students who are going to be watching this later, saying, you have one of the best of best teachers who has so much to give it to you. And she's very generous, and she's very loving and passionate about her art form. grasp, suck her as much as you want, because she's such a giver. Please make the most of this beautiful teacher that you guys have. She's done this journey for 15 years. It's not easy. It's not easy to be having this ups and downs and still be giving. Giving is one such, as a teachers we all do, but I'm sure your students have to come out and see this beautiful personality of yours, which not many of them will have. So I'm really happy to share this with them, to recognize this and honor this and respect this for years to come.
Oh, thank you, Viji. That is so warm, and that's exactly what you want at the end of the day. That all those trials, tribulations, after, ultimately, it's just that you form the bonds and the networks, and I think that makes a huge difference. It was really sweet of you. I mean, you needn't have done that at all. It was just a conversation, but it's really nice that you remembered all of these small things, and that shows a lot of the person you are as well. That you remember, and you even thank people for all these small gestures, and so many years back. It's so easy to forget all of them. It's not that big a deal, and it's really nice that you joined me. Thank you so much for this time. I know I've kept you up, but it's always fun talking to you.
Same here, Mridula. All my best wishes to you, and many more years of journey of smooth and happy teaching, and keep that bubbliness of yours going. Keep that happy passion and encouraging teacher that you are. Keep that going. I know all of us will be there to back you up, and in any way, we as artists are always there for each other, and I'm always there supporting you, your Silambam, and then all your students and kids. It's just an honor and pleasure to be part of your journey, and share that, and share it with our community, and say, well, look how all our other friends are doing in the same field, and how nice it is to see them doing all of this in such smooth and easy way, given all the situation that we are in at the moment.
That's true. Now, thank you so much, Viji. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and it was absolutely lovely catching up on things that we did 12 years ago, and
yes.
It just feels so fresh. It feels like it was just yesterday. It was
true,
just yesterday.
Very true. Thank you.
Thank you, Mridula.
Who's next on stage?
We'll just have to practice.
Welcome to this episode of Vihasati, and I am with Pramod, Reddy. Pramod, thank you so much for joining us today. It is such a pleasure having you with us.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me for this session. I'm very happy or fortunate to be part of this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. I just wanted to, just talk to you about something that really has been either interesting or funny or absolutely, crazy, because all these things always happen in dance. So can you share something like that with us as well? Something that's happened to you, multiple events, it need not be just one, during programs, during practices.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's thank you. But it's I can say, first of all, the thought which you came up with this question is really something different. We can show. Generally, we'll say that the flip other side of the coin. This is really a great thought, Akka, for this question. Yes, I do have multiple events, and especially I can say that when I can say, I'm just adding you also, whether we are working the professional life and the passion life, so it is very difficult to manage both. And thank God and for all the people and the whoever is supporting for this. So you will see multiple these kind of crazy things when you do this kind of things. For example, someday you will be like, dancing or something. 6 o'clock, you will just close your office work and you will start practicing. So I used to do like, in the during this lockdown, or at least I need to do some practice. Now I have time, no traveling time, so I can utilize the time for the practice, right? So I used to just shut down the system at 6 o'clock and okay, I thought of practicing. Then, okay, let's start. Then the call starts. Off the sorry for calling you after office hours. It will take just 5 minutes for a discussion. Then that discussion will go along around 1 hour. Then that gone. This is the most craziest things for the people who are into both, like, the professional career and the passionate dancing career, or dance, or any fine arts career.
Absolutely.
This is the craziest thing. So yeah, this is in general, but otherwise, if you come to few things, crazy things, I can say the same. When I did last year one production, that Mindri Bajate, my students now all have grown up. Now all are working in IT companies. So all almost all seniors, 4 to 5 girls, they are into into working is some other profession. So during that rehearsals, it is like, most of them were having the night shifts. So we used to have the day rehearsals. So we have chosen the Ravindra Bharati. Like, if I gave, because I was solely managing the entire things, like,
Correct.
from the script to that, all the rehearsals, everything. So sometimes I need to step out. Okay, girls, just you practice and
Correct.
I'll be back in a half an hour or 1 hour. By the time I used to come back on the Ravindra Bharati stage, they all used to sleep.
Oh God.
So
Poor things.
by the time I left from there, they used to sleep. It was craziest thing. Mom, where is the practice? They used to, like, give all silly reasons, and we just thought of taking 2 minutes rest. Then we slept off. So this is like, most like, funniest thing we can see. And these are like, for hilarious things. But if you see some other things which is very difficult to manage, like, program starts around 6:30. If some of the orchestra team member is not come,
Oh yeah.
or is they stuck in the traffic, it's really, once it got happened, like, during the same Navaratri season only, I was having a program in one of the temple. So I told to the, like, the musician that okay, this is the temple, and I just told the temple name. This is which is a famous temple. I told the temple name. Then what happened? Everyone ready, dancers and other orchestra, everyone. We are sitting on the stage, just we are waiting for her. Just waiting for only for musician. Rest all have come.
Correct.
Then I'm already in the temple. Oh, where? Then we were searching. We are in the temple. Where? Then she said, "Okay, I'm in this Ashtalakshmi temple in Dilsumur." Huh? No, not that temple. No, our temple is it here in the east. Oh. Then we got like, this total no expression for me, and like, and exclusively I'm not a singer, and I didn't learn music. It is very difficult to handle that situation. It is very, very difficult, and we don't have at least our half an hour or 1 hour time to manage or to put some recordings, so it is very difficult, right? So then somehow one of these senior student, she knows some music. Then I asked her to support. Then first I started first time in my life I used to sing all this, like, generally we say bathroom singers.
Exactly. Very casual singing. Very casual singing.
Very casual, how we used to take in the class. So was starting first when I start announcing about the program only, I told that please I requested my apologies, so kindly bear with us, and hopefully, like, the devotees, which is a temple, And thank God, nothing was came out in a different way, but everything went on well. That is in my whole the entire dancing career, which was craziest thing which I have seen.
Yeah, it's crazy because what happens is these small miscommunications. Till they come, you will have to manage and do something. And it's easy because sometimes we don't train ourselves in that at all. We concentrate on something else. So suddenly if you're pushed and asked to say or sing, or it has happened to all of us, and it's happened to me as well, where one orchestra member went to another completely different sabha in Chennai. And we were all like, he's like, I'm waiting there, nobody's there. We said, no, we're all here. It's not miss all of us on stage. So these things happen. And you've done so many productions. So I'm sure there have been absolute tensions or crazy things that have happened during productions as well.
Yes, really, one that I can share one good example there. I should thank to the, maybe the Gudi Sambaralu, the Parampara Foundation. So I work closely. I'm very happy to be part of few of the Gudi Sambaralu events. So last year I was presenting the temples of Telangana ballet. Everything was scheduled. Just day after tomorrow is the program. The 2 days continuous rains, because the Gudi Sambaralu, most of the events will go for the open air, because outside of the temples they does these programs. So really we all worried, and luckily they have taken so much of care, the entire Parampara Foundation people, the Gudi Sambaralu team. Then we shifted to 1 week, because these, especially these big events like Gudi Sambaralu events, outskirts and all invitations or the schedules shared, and everyone blocked their calendars, because most of the people, they'll come to visit the temple and see the programs, right? So unfortunately, immediately they have taken that action, and quick notes have shared with all the people, due to this rains, we are unfortunately postponing the program. Then after 1 week we did the program, but you can see the same response, the even that unscheduled date also. When we say scheduled, if you say in corporate language, scheduled, unscheduled, that unscheduled day also, the all people they have come. It was a great success. So most of the people they would have seen. Not okay, now it's okay, we are a little bit managing thing. If you look at that 10 years back, like that, the train reservations, that is the biggest thing.
True.
Because nowadays commute is easy, we have flights or the car, or the roads are good. If it is more than 6-7 hours, also few people are driving by car, so no issues. But 10 years back, I've seen few issues that way. So they'll say by going there it's okay, but in the onward return journey, some tickets will not get confirmed, you don't have any other option. So
you don't, everybody who goes comes back with you. That's the problem.
True. That is also very craziest, because I can say, this is my personal opinion, I feel only the dance or fine arts people can experience this kind of things. No other fields will have these kind of experiences. It's my personal observation or research, I feel.
No, the issue, I think, or the challenge is, we take so much of paraphernalia. It's not that we pack a simple suitcase and go. There'll be thousands of props and, jewelry and makeup, so many things. Suddenly you'll forget your shalangai because it'll be in a separate bag. All that confusion. And when you're on stage, some belt will break. So, there's just too many things that you have to take care of. And especially, for example, I remember when you did a program with a lighted lamp. Small things like that. I mean, you have to make sure that the lamp is at the end of it, because it has fire in it, so somebody has to be aware of all those things. There's just so many other moving parts. I think that's why it makes it very, and multiple costume and jewelry issues, not even it's a given, something or the other.
Yes, true. Yeah, because all stages will not have this kind of facilities. So some stages you'll have the background space or the good green rooms or space available to arrange, like, as per your order. But uh, it's very difficult to get the same provisions in all the
True.
places, right?
No, absolutely. And some have actually a space behind where you can go from one side to the other side. Some actually just have a screen. So, you can actually see someone squirming behind that screen and trying to get to the other.
And like, during actions, you next, you come, this kind of
From the wings.
actions.
You're always like motioning, shouting, saying something, and trying not to disturb anybody, but catch the attention of that one person who might not be looking at you at all. So that is the problem. That's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, true.
No, I think it's lovely. I firmly believe arts has a lot of hard work, a lot of pain, but I also firmly believe arts is a lot of joy and laughter. And sometimes we forget that, these things are the ones that keep us going, and it's amazing when I talk to dancers, how many of these stories are so common, but how many of these stories come out and they really enjoy and they say, oh my God, you won't believe it. This is what happened. And I think that's what I want to bring out, that there's a lot of joy in dancing, even music, whatever arts. But for me, dancing, of course, comes first. So there's a lot of joy in dancing. And I'm just so glad that you joined me today.
Yeah.
Shared some of
And
your...
one thing we can say, Akka, from this, it's my personal experience as well. Artists can do multiple things at a time. Because of handling, we know handling all these situations, right? So we are better in doing, like, multiple activities at the same time. So
I know, and sometimes
that is the one.
Even a choice.
Yes, true.
And the multitasking is something that happens. I'm sure you would have faced it a lot during your programs as well, right? I mean, multiple people asking you things.
True, which is very I've seen if you each and every program having the different experience, and we thought of okay, these lesson learnings I'll apply into the next program. Then what will happen? New lesson learnings will come up from that program.
Correct.
It's like the never-ending story.
True.
Yes.
I mean, it's not just standardized, right? That is the problem. Every production, every program is different.
Exactly.
You come up with new problems in every program.
True. And nowadays with this virtual things, we should be more cautious how we can do the various things. The technology is evolving. Where is the video? Where is the lighting? Because just watching live is different, and the performance going in a virtual mode is different.
Absolutely.
Completely. Yeah, different. So we should be more cautious when we go for the virtual things.
And imagine all our network issues. Somebody is talking and suddenly either you lose them or they freeze. All these crazy things can happen.
True.
And of course, let's not even talk about online classes. That's a whole new ball game that we are to deal with or manage. No, that's the way life is, I'm sure. As artists, we have seen so many issues. So I'm sure that, this is something we'll come across as well and get over. But thank you so much, Pramod. It was so fun talking. And this is what I really want to project. The fact that, yes, it's been 15 years of teaching, but the 15 years have been a lot of fun, a lot of pain, of course, a lot of issues, a lot of insults, a lot of, struggles. But we should never forget the fun and the laughter. I think that's what makes it, us keep coming towards it again and again. So I'm so glad you joined me on this journey. It's very, very special.
I should thank you, Akka, for this, discussion. Really, with this conversation, I was remembering, what happened in my whole career. What was the craziest thing? It was a very fun time to, recollect those things and cherish those moments, right? So it's thanks to you for, making me part of this.
No, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure having you. And it was so nice of you to come and share all those personal anecdotes with us as well. So thanks so much, Pramod.
Thank you.